Hi everyone, let's go through my high time frame, medium time frame and low time frame scenario, starting with the bullish high time frame scenario, where this is currently a wave 1 followed by a wave 2, and then we would expect a big move to the upside for wave 3. In this scenario, this wave 1 consists of a 1, 2, 3, 4 and eventually a wave 5, ending somewhere around this area where we have a nice support resistance area as well, besides the high time frame range value area low that we have now tested twice from this range over here. Interesting is a potential short setup over here. Nonetheless, it is risky because of course we are in a bullish environment. Stop loss somewhere above, trading it to the downside for the most common targets usually of wave 2, which is between the 0.5 and the 0.786, with the 0.382 fib being the rare target, basically currently sitting at 22.7k. These fibs are taken from the low of wave 1 to then the high of wave 1. Now one could also say, hey, wave 1 could be over here, wave 2 can be this low over here. Yes, that is possible. However, this wave 2 is very short in time compared to wave 1, which is very unusual. It only is 23% of the time it took for wave 1 to form, and usually wave 2 is at least 38% of the time that it took wave 1 to form. So currently, my more preferred bullish scenario is that this is going to be a 1-2. Of course, the very bullish scenario is that 2 then already is in, and this is another wave 1. We then expect a 2 before then continuation to the upside. Now, in this, however, scenario that I have on my chart, we would get a little bit of a deeper retracement and can enter potential longs over here with a very clear invalidation below the Z for then a big impulsive move to the upside. If you go to the bearish scenario, we are looking for an WXY with then inside the X and ABC expanding flat. In this scenario, we are working on ending wave 5 with the most common targets for wave 5 being the 1.236 and the 1.618 taken from the high of 3 to the low of 4. If price would shoot above this 1.618, then this scenario becomes less likely and the bullish scenario might become more likely. In this scenario, the most common wave C target is the white box that you see, basically between 27.7k and 34k. However, my most important level is 29.6k to basically 30k. The reason is that we have the 1.618 over here as well as the 0.382. The 0.382 is important because it has to do with the red wave X, as these fibs over here are taken from the all-time high to the low of W, and usually the minimum retracement for a wave X is the 0.382 level, which is basically it's at exactly the same price as the 1.618, which is 29.6k, and again we have the support resistance area here as well. So very important level for then a potential short setup to the downside with a safe stop loss above, looking for a wave Y to basically between 13k and 9k at least. If we then go to the more medium time frame scenarios, I have two scenarios for you over there. One is the very bullish scenario, as just highlighted, where wave 1 is already finished, 2 is finished, and we're looking for a wave 3. And then inside this wave 3, we have a 1-2-1-2 setup, and we would potentially now be in a very big move, impulsive move to the upside. What I don't necessarily like, however, is the volume as written in this box over here, because if we open the volume, you can see that this move at the moment is going more like from an impulsive structure to more horizontal, which is not really what you want to see. And also the volume was increasing over here, yes, but now it is still decreasing. Yes, we had a little bit of a spike of volume just now, but in general the volume is still lower as we had over here. So we want to see volume increase with the move to the upside. At the moment it is not necessarily increasing. If we go to the lower time frames, yes, this move is a nice amount of volume, but we have to see what the follow-up is gonna be. Now in this scenario with this wave 2, as mentioned as well in my previous video, it hit the 0.382, which is a rare target for wave 2. However, it's absolutely valid in this scenario with then a wave 1, 2, and then looking for a big 3 to the upside, where also this wave 2 ended between the 0.5 and the 0.618 fib time, taken from the low of this 2 over here to the high of 1, which is a very good and solid target as well, fib time-wise, for wave 2. It's past the 0.382, and that is most important. If we go to the more bearish scenario, then we are basically looking for price to end somewhere between these fibs, between the 1.236 and the 1.618, with again the 1.618 being 29.6k. And this can be either the end of wave X, the end of wave 1, or well, that's basically it. It's either or. The only difference is that the short trade is then the same. Of course, it is risky because, again, we are in a very bullish environment at the moment. However, shorts can be laddered, stop loss safely above to the downside. The only difference then are the targets. Wave 2 targets are over here. The wave Y target is far below. However, it's still the same, exact same setup in this box over there. If we then go to the lower time frames, we had a little bit of action today, which is honestly very nice. And I want to start with the little bit more bearish scenario over here, where we then have a wave 1, 2 in yellow, a 3, 4, 5 in yellow. So wave 5 ended. And then, as mentioned in my video actually of yesterday night, 7 p.m. CET, I was waiting for the news to hit, take these highs, and then an expanded flat ABC for a potential short setup to the downside. Very nice. Of course, this short setup has already played out now, so we can remove that one from the chart. In this case, the bearish scenario is then a flat over here in a potential A, and we would be looking for a 3 wave in maybe then a potential expanded flat in the B, which is taken from the high of this 5 to the low of A. And you can see the fibs on my chart right now. And if we zoom in just a little bit, the rare target for wave B expanded flat is the 105, which we currently are finding resistance at. The most common target, however, is the 1.236 and the 1.38 with a max target of 29.3k. However, price can wick above this level as long as it doesn't really close candles too far above this level, because else it is going to be invalidated. This, however, at the moment is an alternative scenario for me because of the push we have to the upside. Another, well, in this case, it is still for me alternative, is the very bullish scenario, but this time zoomed in a little bit with wave 1 over here, wave 2 now looking to the upside for a bigger wave 3. And if we then look in the lower time frames, also courtesy to John in my Discord group, he had a very low time frame count, where this could indeed be a potential 1-2, 1-2 setup, with then this being a 1-2, then a 3 to the upside. Currently working on a potential wave 4 over here, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where we don't want to see wave 4 dipping below this 0.5 level at 28.1k, because then it is going to be unlikely this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then eventually a 5 to the upside. However, as it stands now, this is still a valid structure, and in this scenario we would then expect a wave 5 in white to the upside. Now this wave 5 in white would then end a wave 3 in yellow, then followed by a wave 4 in yellow, and eventually a wave 5 in yellow. So you get a little bit of like 3, 4, 5, and that would then end this particular impulse. So if we then go to the low time frame, wave 5, this is the bonus scenario that I shared in my previous video. So that was at that moment in time a little bit of an alternative scenario, but I mentioned it really depends on what price is going to do throughout the day. So because of this push to the upside, this might now be a preferred scenario, where in this scenario we then have some sort of 1, 2, 3, an expanded flat in the 4, which is the most common structure in a wave 4, an expanding flat. And then we have wave 5 to the upside, where these fibs are the targets between basically 29k and 29.8k, and we also have a weekly level and 29.9k. The only thing I might not necessarily like too much per se is how wave 2 would match wave 4. Wave 4 is really, really big compared to this then very, very small wave 2 basically. And that's not necessarily something I like. Yes, wave 4 didn't go below the 0.5, which is good. And we have a little bit of an impulse. This is still valid, but it's like short scenarios at the moment at this level might be a bit risky, because we also have this at the moment going on. So it can either be a very impulsive move to the upside in a very big 3, or wave 5 might end over here, and then we're looking for downside. So in this scenario, that's also why now on the lower time frames, I do not have any potential short setups, because we are again pushing to the upside with a bit of volume as well, expecting a little bit more upside. And yeah, we just have to wait. I'm updating 3 times a day, so whatever happens, of course, the next video will be online in no time, 7 a.m. CET tomorrow. And if price is hanging around these levels, we will see then what is going to be most likely. But for now, I hope this video was helpful or valuable to you. I'd like to thank you for watching and subscribing as well, and I will see you at my next video. Bye bye.